Welcome on into Battlehawks Hub Weekly. We are presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, Hot Shots, STL's Home for Sports since 1990, and of course by DraftKings. The crown is yours. Battlehawks looking to improve to over 500 when they welcome in the Michigan Panthers. I'm Luke Slaybaugh, love St. Louis, with the number one Battlehawks fan in the world, Judy Straughter. Judy, how are we feeling about this week?
I am feeling optimistic. Coach Beck put out a video on Easter Sunday and said, you know what? Hey, I realize that we're not playing up to our potential. Trust me, we're just as frustrated as you fans are. We're going to grind. We're going to make it happen. It was a really reassuring video. It was nice that he just kind of said, you know what? Look, we're just, I know it's not what y'all want, but we're going to do better. And they practice even on Easter Sunday, just so that way they had a chance to give us a chance to win this weekend. So I feel pretty good about it.
It is an optimistic feeling right now, and we are pleased to welcome on special teams coordinator and running backs coach Kyle Caskey. He has stood shoulder to shoulder with the likes of Adrian Peterson, Travis Etienne, and Joe Mixon. He's also helped Jacob Saylors become the best rusher in the UFL. Coach, how you doing today?
I'm good. You're giving me a lot of credit for saying I made Jacob Saylors into what he is. I'll tell you what, he's a special talent, and I'm glad we have him. And really glad to be here with you guys. Appreciate you having me on.
Appreciate it, Coach. And let's start with Jacob Saylors, the UFL's leading rusher. How does he stand out compared to some of your students that you've had in the past?
He reminds me a lot of a guy I had in Cincinnati named Giovanni Bernard. I think a lot of people remember him. He's not the biggest guy, but he's a lot stronger than he looks, and he's got a knack for finding the open lanes, and he does things in the passing game that certain backs just can't do, and we trust him with everything that we ask him to do, and he just makes plays. There's a couple of plays he's had this year already, not even talking about last year, where he had a 17 or 18 yard screen pass against Houston when it was 3rd and 17, and he drug about 5 people with him, and it's just the trust factor we have with him. That's what stands out the most to me, because there's nothing that we do in our offense, I'm talking about receiver wise, running back wise, that we wouldn't put him in a position anywhere on the field, and we wouldn't feel, we wouldn't be anxious with him being anywhere. So we know he can do anything for us.
One of the things that we admire about you, Coach, is that this is the UFL, and you've got 2 times the workload. You are one who has taken on every position in an organization, from recruiting director to defense to tight ends, now running backs and special teams. So in a week like this, take us behind the curtain. How do you manage your time so you've got clarity on the game plan for both offense and special teams?
Well, it starts early, and then a lot of times it starts the week before. So we played Arlington on Saturday, and so Friday is kind of a lighter day. It was, it's usually a travel day, but we didn't travel to Arlington. Obviously, we're all in Arlington, so even though it was an away game, it was actually kind of a home game for us. And but I spent most of Friday working on Michigan, so working breakdowns on offense and special teams. And usually, if I can, I usually try to get the special teams work done early in the week so that I can kind of get that behind me, and then I can tweak it as we go through the week. And that way it allows me to function more as an offensive coach, because with Phil McGagan as our offensive coordinator this year, we got a really collaborative group of coaches here. So I get to spend a lot of time with him and Mark Colombo and Seneca Wallace. And I try to get myself in a position to where I'm not getting stressed and pulled in a different direction for special teams all during the week. So a lot of it gets done early on, and then a week like this, we do have a normal week. We have a Saturday to Saturday, so we have the full week with us. So we haven't been as stressed as maybe like next week when it's a Saturday to Friday game. But we just got to continue to work and push and get things done on a timely basis and keep each other accountable for getting things done, because we don't have a lot of help, and that's kind of where we've all got to be on top of our areas within the offense or special teams.
Judy?
So talking about Jacob Saylors and being such a special talent, last year, he just really exploded and became For me, one of my favorite players, a player to watch. And then he turns around and comes back this year and is just even better. You don't even think he could be any better. What are your ambitions to help him get back to the NFL?
That's my number one goal with him. I want to obviously win here with him too, but to get him to the next level, we need to win so that he gets noticed. The teams that win in this league are the ones that get noticed. And, I think all of our players understand that. So last year he got a chance. He went to the Giants during training camp, and then he actually went from the Giants the last week of training camp, went to the Browns for a week and actually played in the Browns preseason game at the end of the preseason. But again, it's hard sometimes when you're not in the OTAs and all that throughout the spring, but you're playing in this league, but you're getting film, and then you go somewhere and you jump in and you're kind of at the back of the line. But I think with him if he can have another solid season and put 2 back-to-back really good seasons in this league together, somebody's got to take notice because he's still young. He's still got a lot of tread on his tires. And he's a guy that I don't see how he doesn't go into a camp. And if you give him a chance to do it, he will show out in a camp. He has NFL level talent, obviously.
I agree. I think he's a really smart player. I want to shift kind of more and talk a little bit about you and, the fact that you have been at the NFL level and you decided to come to the UFL. I mean, what made you decide to come to the UFL, and then furthermore, the Battlehawks?
Well, sometimes in the coaching profession, obviously I'd love to be in the NFL. That's where we all strive to be. I was there for 12 years. Unfortunately, sometimes you get on staffs that don't get retained. And I was on the Jacksonville staff in 21 that didn't get retained. That was Urban Meyer's year there. And, then I've kind of bounced around and I coached high school ball for a year. And then I had the chance to come here. And the reason I came here was I've known Bruce Gradkowski for years. And Bruce was a backup quarterback with the Bengals for us when I first got there. And Bruce and I have stayed in touch for years. And he would call me even before I got hired in 23 and bounce ideas off of me, installation ideas. Hey, how did y'all do this? Because it was really his first year as a coordinator. And he just wanted to know, like, what's the process like from the other side of things? And then when an opportunity came up last year, he pushed me in front of Coach Beck, and and Coach Beck didn't know me, but now I've been here, and it's a fun league. There are some things you wish were a little different. We'd like to have a year-long contract, all this kind of stuff. Not be so seasonal, but it's a fun league. The players want to be here, which is a lot of fun for coaches, because there's sometimes NFL college players, they think they're too good for what they're doing. But
Right.
These guys want to be here. They want to play. They want the opportunity. And you can get so much more out of players that have that attitude than you can otherwise. And I think it's a lot of fun to be in this league.
I think that's a really positive way to look at things. That's awesome. I love really hearing that. So he has quickly become a super fan favorite, and I just adore him as a fan. Rodrigo Blankenship. What is it like working with that character? I mean, he's just got a personality that is as fun as anything else.
A character's a way to put it. Kickers are always a little quirky, just at any level. And but I'll tell you, Rodrigo, and when you get him aside and you actually start talking to him, he's like one of the most genuine, nice, caring, loving human beings around. And he has the specs and he has all that stuff. And, he comes across as a kind of almost like his own character, like you said, but really he means a lot to this group. And it's crazy how we all knew who he was coming in, and,
Yeah.
you don't really know how to take it when you kind of get a bigger name that comes in as a kicker like that. And he came in, he just fits right in. He's so unassuming. But he does. It's fun. It's fun talking to him because, he's a Lego fanatic, collects shoes. I mean, he's just got all kinds of just random hobbies he does. And if you see his Instagram and follow his day in the life of stuff, and, it's interesting to see how normal he is in all reality.
Yeah. I mean, the fans have just been we were over the moon to hear when he signed, and then the guy's just been rock solid. It is kind of hard not to love him. So he has just been, I mean, a welcome, awesome, loving having him on the team.
Well,
That's cool though to learn that he loves collecting shoes and Legos. I mean, that's cool to learn.
Fits in with my kids for sure. You know, I mean, I got 8, 6, and a 3-year-old. They fit on. But one thing I was going to say is we got to the stadium 2 weeks ago in St. Louis, and there was this huge crowd. So they let us off the buses, and we do the walk and everything before the game out there in front of the dome. And there was this whole group of people with Rodrigo signs, respect the specs and stuff. So we get in, whatever, whatever. I guess it's his family. So I walked up and said, "Hey, man, it's pretty cool. Your family was out there." He goes, "I don't know those people." He's like, it was just a fan club. So
yeah. He is. He's just super lovable. And again, the rock solid. I just cannot even believe it. That has been kind of the bright spot in the rough start that we've had, that he comes on the field, we don't have to worry. That has been pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, and that's, trust me, from my perspective as a special teams coach, and also with just in general, it's nice to have that behind you, especially as an offensive coach. I mean, it hits third downs, and you don't feel as stressed about it as you would, if you didn't think you got somebody to make it like that.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, I want to thank you for your time. We know you got a lot of busy work ahead with the Michigan Panthers coming to town, but I want to thank you so much for your time, and best of luck to you throughout the rest of the season.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys. And just saying this out there, kind of, I almost want to piggyback on what Judy said. Is it has been a rough start, but I can guarantee you this: there's one major variable that contributes to losses, and that's turnovers. And we're doing everything we can to minimize those, and we do that. And we just play our game. Everything's going to be just fine. And I know the Battlehawks fans that come watch us this weekend and every other game that they come see us are really going to enjoy what they see.
That is exciting.
I'm going to trust you on that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Got my word.
Thank you, Coach. Take care.
Yes, sir. You too.
Bye.
Wow. I mean, what a great guy, and just drilled into what we were going to talk about is, 4 turnovers in consecutive weeks has really been the only thing holding the Battlehawks back.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a super great guy. I really enjoyed having him on, and as the season progresses, and he just told us we're going to get better. So, and we have his word that we can have him back and really talk about, how he's helped turn everything around. But it's really neat to hear how he actually knows his players. I mean, that was really cool that when we talked about Rodrigo, that he brought up a couple of just things about him. So it's not like he's just this guy showing up saying, all right, like, let's do X, Y, Z. I mean, he's taking the time to get to know them, to really understand their style, their passions, the things that they are comfortable with and uncomfortable with. And so, I mean, what a great, obviously he's a phenomenal coach. So that was cool.
We got a really good feel for Rodrigo Blankenship as a person, a collector of Legos, only kicker in the league who's gone 10 for 10 on field goal attempts. But a couple of weeks ago, there was actually this Lego artwork exhibit near where I live. And this artist, Nathan Sawaya, doing replicas of like the Mona Lisa and the Easter Island head and the Statue of David, like with 70,000 Lego pieces. And now, when I go through my camera roll, I'm going to think more about Battlehawks football.
Right. How cool is that? I absolutely love it. Like, I'm a sneaker aficionado myself. So to kind of have that, relatability is just cool. And those are the things that really bring you closer to a team and to the game, is when you feel like you can relate to the players, when you feel like, they're real people, just like everyone else. I mean, goodness, Coach Kyle was just, what a positive guy, just so positive. So that was just cool. Even talking about how, the players, they want to be here, and why they're here. So that was that was a great interview. Great guest.
You made it happen. You're A+, Judy Strawder. Also, thanks to Brian Stoll at the Battlehawks for making that happen as well. We've got to get in ads. Battlehawks Hub postgame brought to you by Hot Shots. St. Louis is home for all games all the time since 1990. HotShots.net. By Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. With the new Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken Battlehawks Box, you can score up to 30% off Battlehawks tickets, plus get 4 of their famous breast strips and a side of potato wedges for just $8.99, only at Lee's Famous for Chicken. Sports Hub STL, also presented by DraftKings. The crown is yours. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code STL Sports. That's all one word, STL Sports. That's code STL Sports for new customers to play $5. Get $50 in Pick 6 credits, better payouts, bigger wins, only with Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
It was also good to have Coach Caskey on, just for the fact that both teams this week, St. Louis and Michigan, love to run the ball. They're 1 and 2 in the UFL, respectively, in yards per game. The main story, though, local media reporting in St. Louis, is that, unsurprisingly, Manny Wilkins will be out for the year with a right ankle injury, likely an Achilles tear, meaning that it is Max Duggan's time to shine. And newly signed Brandon Silvers, former depth piece here in St. Louis, also added to the quarterback room.
It's a shame that we're not going to get to see what Cordero could do, because honestly, I thought, based on the videos I saw from training camp, that he really had a solid skill set. But it is what it is. We've had Silvers before. It's always nice to have somebody that is familiar with the organization and, what our goal is. But, maybe Max just wasn't ready on Saturday, that, Wilkins, has done nothing but play, and he's seen limited playing time, that, even though your head's in the game, maybe he just was like, whoa, I didn't expect this. And I'm really excited to see the bounce back, the turnaround, because I really think that he is solid and has a great skill set to bring to the team, and can be a great leader for the team, because honestly, that's what we need more than anything. We need somebody to step up and be a leader. And that's kind of what I think that we're missing right now, is just that leadership piece that, I don't want to say that we're not playing as a team and we're not playing as a cohesive unit, but that, just to kind of bring up Mizzou for a second, Cody Schrader, I think, really turned that team around, and he stepped up and was a leader. That's what we need for this team. Like, just someone that is the example setter, that's up in the gym at 5 a.m. and, working out at night and, rallying the players together. We just need that person. And so hopefully, we'll see Saturday that maybe Max is that guy that comes in and does it.
Love the mention of one-time Battlehawks draftee Cody Schrader from our Missouri Tigers. Cordero is still listed on the roster, but on injured reserve. Quarterback Trey Self from Stephen F. Austin is also a depth piece on this team. But for now, it looks like it is Duggan's job to lose. Panthers, meanwhile, coming in 3-1. A couple weeks ago, had a last-minute field goal over San Antonio, and then they have swept the Memphis Showboats most recently 27-9. Quarterback Bryce Perkins is a former LA Ram, super efficient, and the 22.8 points per game now tops in the league. Also 19 first downs per game, first in the league. So work cut out on both offense and defense. Saturday, 6 o'clock kickoff on Big ESPN. What do you think, Judy? How are we feeling?
Okay. Well, don't love that they won on a field goal at the end in one of the recent games, because I very, very much remember Mr. Jake Bates, who is now a Detroit Lion, but he did that to us last year when he won on that. I mean, it was like a 68-yarder. I mean, it was crazy far. Might not have been 68, 63, but it was over 60. That's what I remember. And he had never, recorded a field goal. I mean, like, it was crazy. But so don't love that they're winning games like that, because that's kind of a haunting thing for me. But I think that with their run game and our run game, and with that we have a good chance.
We should. Run game is going to be tested again because Michigan actually stops the run better than Arlington does on average, 83 yards a game allowed so far. So for a team that we just interviewed, the mentor to Jacob Saylors, work's cut out. Got to minimize the turnovers, and I think they should be good. Tailgating plan and your party plan, Judy. What's it look like?
So this week, adulting has me at a dance convention, a dance competition for the whole day. So there will be no tailgating for Judy this week, unfortunately. But next Friday, I'm free and I'll be there. It's still kind of up in the air if I even get to go to the game. It really depends on if everything runs on time. If it all runs on time, I'll be able to at least attend the game. But yeah, unfortunately, this week, my party time is limited to adulting, being a mom.
As I'm sure that many parents can agree out there, any big, massive, organized children's tournament or event always runs smoothly, on time, everything gets done, and there's no stress whatsoever. So
Oh,
I wish you the best of luck in that.
Exactly.
All right. Well, 6 o'clock kickoff Saturday, St. Louis hosting the Michigan Panthers on ESPN. We'll see you here right afterwards on Sports Hub STL. Judy Straughter, you the best. Kaka?